Okay, let's see what we're going to do today. I'm going to do a few of these problems with you. Okay, not for you, but with you. You should be doing them along with me. And factoring is such an important thing in math. When you go to college, no matter what you major in, it doesn't even have to be a math-related field. If you go to a 4-year college, you're going to have to take a math class at some point. Okay, at least one, maybe a couple. All right, even if it has nothing to do with math, you'll probably still have to take a math class. And I can almost guarantee you that they're going to expect you to know how to factor stuff in that math class. Okay, so I think factoring is really, really important. So let's do a few. The first one, we're just going to, they don't really call it this in the book, but in other books they call it the greatest common factor. I think we mentioned that. I've already taught this lesson once, okay? I'm just kind of rehashing it again and just doing some homework with you. But it says by removing the common monomial factor, okay, that's their way of saying find the greatest common factor. Everybody got that? All right, you'll hear that probably a lot more than you'll hear by removing the common monomial factor. I know exactly what they're saying, and they're not saying anything that's wrong, but I think the most common way of saying it is factor this by factoring the greatest common factor, okay? Which means what? The greatest, the largest, right? The common, what's in common with everything. Now, all of these, you got some with 3, yep. Some of them got 2, some of them have 3 terms. You could have more than that. But I want to find out what's the biggest number that's in common with all of the terms that they give you. And then we're going to figure out what's left over. We're going to take out that greatest common factor. We're going to divide it out. And then we're going to find out what's left over. And that is factoring. So on a quiz or a test, I probably won't tell you factor it by using the greatest common factor. And I probably won't say factor it, each polynomial, by removing the common monomial factoring. I'll probably just say factor, and that's it. And it means factor completely. You'll see some of these, right? It says factor using the difference of 2 squares. Factor it by doing the perfect squares. I'm going to teach you all that stuff, okay? But on the test and quiz, it'll probably just say to factor. Right now, they're just trying to get you to realize, oh, I'm doing difference of 2 squares for these. But you've got to keep it all straight in your mind on a quiz or a test. So I'm not going to tell you specifically how to factor it, right? You just have to know the method on that particular problem. All right, enough of that. Let's do this. Let's do the evens, right? I'll let you do the odds and we'll do the evens together. Is that all right? So if I wanted to find out what is in common with both things here, let's make it a little bit bigger so you can see, and make my pen just a little smaller. Make it go half point. There we go. All right. So let's take a look. I got 2 terms, don't I? I've got this one and I've got this one. There is something in common that's being multiplied by both of them. And it's pretty simple. This one is like the easiest one that you'll do. All right? So what is in common? What's being multiplied by each of those terms? A 7. A 7 is being multiplied by this thing, and there is a 7 being multiplied by something to give you 14, correct? All right? And that's what we got to figure it out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to factor out a 7. When I say we factor it out, we're going to put it outside there. Then we're going to put a parentheses. And now I'm going to take that first term right there, and I'm going to factor out a 7. When I say factor it out, it basically means to divide it. Okay? Divide this whole term right here by what's in common, which is the 7. So what is 7x divided by 7? 1? It's a 1x. It's an x. Not just a 1, but it's a 1x. So what do I put right here? An x. Don't need to put the 1 in front of it. If you do, and you put a 1 in front of it, it's not wrong. It's just a waste of time, waste of space. Just put an x. And then we put the sign. Okay, the sign is minus, so we put a minus. And now we factor out a 7. Again, what are we doing? When I say factor it out, what are we doing? We're dividing it by that greatest common factor. So 14 divided by 7 is 2. And there you go. You just factored your first homework problem. These are super easy. Believe me, they're going to get, I took notes. Remember the other day I was teaching this and I said I forgot to take the notes on it, and then I had to look at the book. I took all the notes on it, and it starts off really, really easy, and then it gets tougher and tougher and tougher, okay? And then towards the end of this, if you keep up, it won't be that bad, all right? But you got to keep up. That's the key to this. You got to keep up, all right? So that's why I'm going kind of slow right now, so that you make sure you keep up with this, because this is something you might have to do. Not might, you will have to do later on. Now, what if I wanted to check to see if that was right? I could always distribute that 7 through to make sure I get what I started with. Let's do that. What's 7 times x? 7x minus 7 times 2, 14. Does it check? Yep. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's do another even one. What about this one? Is there something in common with both of these terms? Here's one term, here's another term. Yeah, there's an a in common. So I put the a right here, then what do I put after the a? A parentheses. And now I factor out the a from this thing right here, or divide it out. Okay? I'll probably start saying factor out an a probably more than I will say dividing out an a. But at first, I want you to know what I'm doing. Okay? I'm taking an a out of this by dividing it. So if I divide ax by an a, what do I have left? Just the x minus. Now here's where it gets just a little bit trickier than the other one that we did. Now I'm dividing this a by this a. What is a divided by a?
1.
This time it is a 1. It's not a 1x, it's a what? It's an actual number 1. So you got to put the 1 there. You can't leave it out. You got to put the 1. And that's it. You're done. It's that easy. We're off to a good start, aren't we? Yeah. If you wanted to check and see if it works, you can always multiply it through. What's a times x? Ax minus a times 1, a. Yep, it works. Make sense? All right. Let's go to number 10. What's different about 10? Not really. They're not trying to trick you. What's different about this and what we've done so far? No, come on. It's simple. There's 3 of them. There's 3 things instead of 2. All right? We only had 2 terms before. Now we got 3 terms. Now we got to find out what's in common with all 3 terms. What does each term have in it? Just 1x, right? Now you're like, Mr. Henry, it's got 3 x's in it. It's x cubed. Yeah, but this doesn't have 3 x's in it, and that doesn't have 3 x's in it. How many x's does each of them have in common? They just have an x in common. So what do? Put the x on the outside. You with me on that? That could be a little bit tricky. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the division. We're going to take the x cubed, divide it by an x. So if I take an x out of an x cubed, what am I left with? X2. Not x2. X2 doesn't mean anything. Yeah, just say x squared. Why? Yeah, I don't understand why that's so hard. Are you doing that on purpose, or? I think you are. Just to get me going. Yeah, wasn't funny. Just so you know. So I would. I've had people that were funny in my classes. Just saying. All right, what do we do here? Put the minus. Now we factor out an x from an x squared. What is that? X squared divided by x. If I take an x out of this, what am I left with? An x. Because x squared over x. I didn't write it down. If you want to, you can off to the side. But at this point, you should be understanding that x squared divided by x is x. Then you put a plus. Now, we just did this on the last problem. A little bit tricky. Some people get this messed up. But it's x divided by x. What's x divided by x? It's a 1. Okay, it's not a nothing. I have students do that all the time. They don't leave anything there. They don't put anything there because, it goes away. It cancels out. No, it divides out to be a what? A 1. So you got to put the 1 there. And that's it. That's your answer right there. Okay? Landon, when you getting glasses? Squinting all the time. You got to make an appointment. It'd make your life so easy if you had glasses. All right, here we go. What about this one? Oh, let's do 12. We're doing the evens. It's just like 11. What's in common with both of these things? There's a 3. And what else? An x. There's a 3 and an x. And now there's 2 things in common with both of them. Up to this point, we've only had 1 thing in common. Now we got 2 things. We got a 3 and we have an x. Now you put your parentheses, and now we're going to divide it out. And I'll do this one off to the side. 3x squared divided by 3. Let's not do it off to the side. Look, this is 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. What's x squared divided by x? What's x squared divided by x? What is it? Don't nod your head yes. It's not an answer. I'm asking you a question. It's just x. All right, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. X squared divided by x is x. What's 1 times x? It's x. Okay? Minus. Now look at this. 3x divided by 3x. What's that?
1.
It's just a 1. And we absolutely need to put the 1 there because there's nothing else. There's no x's with it or anything else. Okay, so you got to put the 1. Did you need the 1 in front of the x here? Did you need it? No. You could have put it there. If you put a 1 there, it's fine, I guess. Just don't need it. So that right there is my answer. How can I check to see if that actually works? Well, multiply it through, distribute it. So 3x times x, 3x squared, which that is, minus 3x times 1, which is 3x. It does work, doesn't it? All right, so we circle it, and that's our answer. Simple. One more. Look at this crazy thing. Now we're really thinking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I got 60, I got 48, and I got 72. So this is the hardest one yet. I got to figure out what is the biggest number, the biggest one. There's other numbers that divide evenly into all of those, but what's the largest? What's the greatest?
6x.
Forget the x's and the y's. Forget the x's and the y's. Just look at the 60, the 48, and the 72. What divides evenly? What's the biggest number that divides evenly? 6 is the biggest one?
Possibly there might be
6 does go into everything here.
12.
It's not the biggest one.
12.
It is 12. If you know your multiplication tables, this shouldn't be that hard to do. All right? But 2 goes into everything, doesn't it? But it's not the biggest number that goes into everything. All right? 3 goes into everything, but it's not the biggest. 6 goes into everything, but it's not the biggest. All right? 12 divides into all 3 of those numbers. How many times does 12 go into 60? 5 times. 12 times 5. How many times does 12 go into 48? 4 times. That's right, because 12 times 4 is 48. You guys know your multiplication tables? That's why it's good to know them, all right? Then what times 12 is 72? What's 72 divided by 12? It's 6. All right, so really, if you know your multiplication tables, it shouldn't be hard to figure out your greatest common factor, which is, what do we say? 12. What else is in common? Look at your x's now. Now we can look at the x's. I got x squared, I got an x, I got an x cubed. How many x's is in common with all 3 of them?
1.
Just one of the x's. Just one of the x's. Because this has x squared. So you take, in this case, you take the smaller of the 3. All right, so it's just an x. What about the y's? I got a y here, a y squared here, and a y here. How many y's are in common with all 3 of them? It's just one y. Okay, one y in here. Now there's 2 y's here, but in common, are there 2 y's here? So we can't say y squared is in common because we don't have y squared here. But I do have a y in every one of those, so I put a y right there. Yes?
Wait, what was answer number 12? I'm sorry.
Where you been? It's right there.
That was literally so long.
It literally wasn't that long ago.
All right, here we go. Now, we got our greatest common factor. That's our GCF, greatest common factor. Now we got to do is factor this out of everything, all right, which isn't really that bad. This is why I asked you what is 60 divided by 12, because 60 divided by 12 is what? 5, so we put 5 right there. And then we go x squared divided by x. I get x squared on top, I got an x on the bottom. What am I left with? Just an x. Now look, I got a y divided by y. What's y over y? It's a 1. It's not a 1y, it's just a y, or it's just a 1. And then do I need the 1 there though? No, 5x times 1 is just 5x. So that's my first part. Then what sign do I put? Yeah, minus. And then I go 48 divided by 12, which is 4. And then I got x divided by x. What's that? 1. Anything over itself is 1. So x divided by x is 1. Do I have to put the 1 there? No, because it's 4 times 1, which is just 4. And now I'll do the y's. Y squared divided by y. I got 2 y's on top, 1 y on the bottom. One of them cancels. I left with y. So that's what's left there. And then put plus 72 divided by 12. What did we say that was earlier? 6. X cubed divided by x. X squared. Good. See that? X cubed divided by x. Watch. If x cubed divided by x. Means I got 3 x's up there. I got 1 x here. One of these x's cancels with one of these. I got 2 left over, so it's an x squared. You see that? And then I got y divided by y, which is 1. It's just the number 1. It's not a 1y. It's just the number 1. That's being multiplied by this. Do I need times 1 there? No. That, oops. I know, this marker's been going crazy. I got to go like really slow on it. Every time I try to draw fast, it just like zooms off, takes off. So I got to be careful. All right. See, it's doing it. See, it did it right there. I don't know what's going on. Might be a setting. Look, I went pretty fast there and it worked. Anyway, there you go. That's your answer right there. Pretty crazy looking answer, but that's what it is. I tell you what. Yeah, let's do these two. Well, no. I already got the lesson plans up there for this. Yeah, these are easy. But we're going to take our time, okay? I got all excited about this. I thought we were going to just continue, but I think we'll just take our time a little bit and do these together. Because I really want you to learn this stuff, okay? I don't want to just fly through this and just go over your head. Question? I can't hear you. Yeah. So what you're doing now, hopefully you already wrote these down. If you didn't, you need to do them, okay? But they're just finishing up. You're just doing the odds now, okay? So 5 through 14, that's your assignment, all right? And again, you should be finished, and you should check your answers, right? Because they have the answers in the back for the odds. So you're doing the odds now. So I'm going to collect this before class is over, all right? You only got like what, 5 of them to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you only got 5 problems. All right, you got 20 minutes for goodness sakes. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. All right, so there you go. That's it. That's what your homework is. So you're doing what? 5 to 14. You're doing them all. I already did half of them, right? Well, you did them too. We did them together. That's right. We're a team. All right, that's it.